So I think we believe the lie that we're less useful to God and people when we're tired,
Yeah.
instead of saying, what if the whole range of human experience can be something that God uses?
Welcome to More Than Small Talk. We're Susie Eller,
Jennifer Watson,
And Holly Girth, writers and real life friends. We're inviting you to go deeper, become freer, and feel more connected.
So imagine you have a cup of coffee, a mug of tea, or a green smoothie in your hand.
and we're all hanging out in your favorite place together.
Welcome back. We are continuing our mini series on things that people think but don't always say out loud. And we have covered I don't want to be angry, but I am. I don't know what's wrong with me. I believe in God, but I don't feel close to Him. And this week we are going to tackle I don't want to feel tired, but I do.
So, what is a lie that you've believed about feeling tired?
At 49, that's all I'm ever going to feel is tired. Yeah, like this is your body, this is your life, and you will be tired. Yeah, forever.
Yeah. You know, I have traveled to a lot of different countries, and the countries where I feel most at home is those that take siestas.
Mhm.
I remember being in a city and we all walked out. I was speaking at an event in the city and we all stepped out and there was like nobody. The businesses were shut down, everything was closed. And I remember saying, what's going on? Like, is there an emergency? They were like, no, it's siesta. They'll be closed down for 2 hours. And I was like, okay, does this mean I can nap? And so I went and took like a really long nap. I just thought it was the best thing ever. So we live in a culture that says you wake up, hit the ground running, you go until you collapse into your
Yes.
bed. And if you don't do that, somehow you're lazy
Yes.
or unproductive.
Mhm.
And so that's a lie that I've believed because of the culture that I've been in, that somehow that rest is against being productive. It
Yeah.
actually helps me be more productive.
Right. Well, I mean, like I was talking to a friend about this and she said, we think that the week ends on the Sabbath, but
Yeah.
it actually, that's how it began
It
with
starts.
rest.
Mhm.
I think that we over glorify busyness and it doesn't mean that we're more important if we're like running ourselves into the ground. It might just mean that we're probably doing too much.
Yeah. Or we're in a busy season.
Yeah.
Listen, I had 3 children under the age of 19 months. It was, and twins, that's why. There parts of that are really a blur.
I bet.
Because I was exhausted
Yeah.
and I loved my babies. I
Yeah.
loved them with my whole heart. But I just remember trying to, in the middle of the night, feed one baby, feed the other baby. And then my 19-month-old would wake up and need care. And I didn't know if I was going to make it. I was so
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah. I think a lie that we all believe, myself included at times, is being tired is a problem that I need to fix.
Yeah.
And energy is a virtue. I mean, think about all the products that we get marketed to about not being tired. Energy drinks, caffeine, the right workout programs, supplements. Like I would say it's billions of dollars in our culture that are made by telling people you're tired and you need to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
And as fast as you can,
Mm-hmm.
not like fix that through deep rest and a siesta. And,
Mm-hmm.
it's fix this by chugging an energy drink.
Yeah.
And
Which makes my heart want to come out of my chest.
Yeah. So I even think like, what you said, Suze, the cultural frame that we live in, pausing and saying like how much of the messaging I'm getting around being tired is actually really good marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. So what do we do if somebody's fingers are poised on the keyboard saying, I don't want to feel tired, but I do? Maybe part of that is just giving grace and saying, sometimes you're going to feel tired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's human. Jesus
Yeah.
felt tired a lot.
Yeah.
He took naps in boats and,
Yeah.
so it said, one verse actually says he sat wearily down by the well.
Yeah.
Like Jesus got
yes.
weary, and that's human. It's not sinful or wrong or weak
No.
or a failure. And that was the moment he ended up having that conversation with the woman at the well.
Yes,
Mhm.
because he stopped.
So what did God use in the life of Jesus? His tiredness on that particular day. So I think we believe the lie that we're less useful to God and people when we're tired,
Yeah.
instead of saying, what if the whole range of human experience can be something that God uses?
Yeah.
I'd never, ever, ever thought of it that way. That's like, I love that. I'm going to be thinking about that for a really long time.
Yeah. And then there's chronic tiredness, which may
Yeah.
be that something physically
Yeah.
needs to be addressed. Maybe not with an energy drink, but maybe there's something that just needs to be addressed. And so paying attention to our bodies too is just saying, okay, here's this temple. It's tired all the time.
Mhm.
And maybe it's just a good time to see if everything's working like it should. And if not, there might be something that can change to help that.
Yeah, I remember sitting in a circle of women like years and years ago, all different ages, life stages, schedules, all the things. And our leader was like, okay, go around and be honest. How are you really doing? Every single one of us said, we're tired.
Yeah.
And it was so eye opening because I think we also tell ourselves everyone else is managing life just fine.
Yeah.
I'm the only one who's tired. Like, I should be able to
Yeah.
handle this. Like, so many people have even busier lives than I do or more difficult circumstances. Like, what right do I have to be tired?
Right.
I need to be able to manage this. And so I think also just knowing like being tired is a universal human
It is
happening. We get so tired every day, we just sleep for 8 hours. That's so inefficient. I mean, really, like I asked Mark the other day, I was like, why do you think God did that? Like, did he think we all just needed a massive daily timeout? Like, we all needed to reset every single day.
Yeah.
And we probably do. But yeah, so I think too, like normalizing it and saying to be human is to be tired
Yeah.
at times. And that is okay.
Hey, tired friend, I get it when you feel that way. One of the things I love to do when I am feeling tired is to read a good fiction book. I just released a new novel and I'm dancing in delight because this is a dream that I've had for 25 years plus. This novel is called Generous Orchid. It is a historical novel. And my hope is that as you take a break, that you'll love the story and that it will fill you up. You can find it on Amazon.com or you can go to my website at tsuzanneeller.com and find out more there. Back to our conversation. Yeah. So to the woman who's saying, I'm tired all the time and I don't want to feel this way, how can we come alongside our sister when that happens? One is you've already said to say universally
Compassion and grace.
Compassion and grace.
I do a practical tool I like, and do not do this if it invokes any guilt or shame, but I often have coaching clients do an energy audit. So they write down everything they do for a day, a week, however long they want to do it. And they put a plus by what energizes them, a minus by what drains them, and a question mark if they're not sure. And the goal is not to have all pluses because none of us do.
No.
I don't know anybody who's putting a plus by laundry and, like life is full of minuses.
Yeah.
But if you go, oh, I didn't realize I have 49 minuses and 1 plus.
Yes.
Like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
And then for the minuses, you can say, like, does this really need to be done? Is it essential? Or is it something I've picked up that I can lay down?
Yeah.
If it is essential, can I delegate it? Do I have to be the one to do it? If it's essential, it can't be delegated, then what strategies do I need to have in place to be able to manage it well?
Yeah.
So knowing like this is really draining for me, I need to also plan something in my day that's a plus, even if it's just I'm going to step outside, take a deep breath, and
Mm.
look at the blue sky for 5 minutes. So whatever
Yeah.
is sustainable and manageable in that season of your life. But I think often part of it is just not knowing or giving ourselves permission to
Yeah.
honestly say, this is what energizes me. This is what drains me. How do I manage that the best I can?
Yeah.
And some seasons it's very unmanageable
Yeah.
because realities happen.
Mhm.
You know, like you said, your little kiddos, there probably wasn't a lot of managing you could do.
No.
But that awareness can either give yourself more permission to be like, this is a season and it's just really, really hard.
Mhm.
Or,
Mhm.
oh, I have slipped into some things that I didn't even mean to be doing. And
Yeah.
it's okay to let those go.
Yeah. And if you feel guilt over rest, to be able
Yeah.
to say that my body actually needs that, just like
Mhm.
it needs food, just like it needs these other things, it also needs rest. And that's going to look different for all of us. There are some people who naps are not their thing. It means they can't sleep at night, so they don't do that. But what does bring you physical rest? And I know for me that I can't have my phone at night because that messes up my rest. Other people can do it fine. Some people can have coffee at night. I can't. But just knowing your body and giving yourself permission to say, here's just one or two little things I can do. Again, if this leads to guilt or don't go there. But it's an assessment and saying, I know that if I am on the phone past a certain hour, I'm not going to sleep. It just jars my brain. And so I have to put it to the side. And then I'm going to have a more restful sleep. And I need it.
Yeah.
And I have a friend who once told me, she said, I only need 4 hours of sleep. I only get 4 hours of sleep. I never take a nap. And I thought I would absolutely implode.
Or kill someone.
I know that my body needs that 8 hours.
Yeah.
And so if I don't get it for a series of time, whenever the kids were little, I was exhausted. I really was. And I remember taking the kids 2 hours a week to Mom's Day Out. And my friend that I was talking about would have used that for productive time, going to the store, doing things. I went home and I would take a 2-hour nap. And it would hold me.
Mhm.
It would hold me for a few days.
Yeah. I think we can also ask, what kind of exhausted or tired am I?
Yeah.
Because there's physically tired, there's mentally tired, which there's interesting studies that show like they hooked up master chess players during a game up to all the, biometrics, and their readings were similar to someone running a marathon.
Isn't that wild?
So a lot of us do a lot of mental work
Yes.
and then fuss at ourselves because we're like, I've been
tired.
sitting at a desk all day. I shouldn't be tired.
Yeah.
Well, our brain just like burned through, all kinds of energy.
You did a mental marathon.
A mental marathon. So
Mhm.
I think saying like mentally tired is as valid as physically tired, emotionally tired,
Yes.
socially tired, spiritually tired, creatively tired. Like, what
Mhm.
kind of tired am I? And then that's the part of you that needs a break. I remember we had Sandra
Yes.
on about the different types
Yes.
of rest.
7 types of rest is what it taught Sandra Dalton, Dr.
Yes.
Sandra Dalton.
Yes.
And what she said, so for example, if you were creatively tapped out because you have been doing all of these things, is to actually enjoy something creative to fill back in. Not that you do, but that you just enjoy. Or if you're emotionally, there was just all of these different ways to fill back up. And she said, as a doctor, she would have somebody come into her office and say, I'm exhausted. And the more I try to just rest, the more tired I feel.
Mm.
And she said, okay, let's discern which type it is. And then let's fill back up in that way. And it made all the difference.
I like how I get word tired. My life is so full of words.
Well, you're under deadlines right now too.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I need time. For me, rest means I can't do anything word related.
Yeah.
Like things you might like reading, being on my phone, looking at social media, even like TV shows where I have to pay a lot of attention to dialogue. Like I'll put my earphones in and listen to instrumental music because I'm like, I can't handle any more words.
Yeah.
I'm word tired.
But you're
Yeah.
filling back up through music with no words.
Yeah.
I love
So
that.
that's like a random thing. But I think everyone like
Yeah.
has maybe something. Someone could be numbers tired. Someone could be cleaning tired.
Yes.
Somebody could be like, what is your life super full of? That is even a gift and that you love, but like you get tired and you need
Mhm.
space without that thing.
Mhm.
So that's an odd little thing. But
No,
yeah,
no,
it's okay if we have quirky little ways that we get tired too.
Yeah. So when somebody's tired, right now there is someone I know that's going through a crisis and they are exhausted. I also think this is an invitation for us to come in and maybe just stand shoulder to shoulder
Yeah.
with them and fill the gaps a little bit. And that can be something really small, but make a big impact for sure.
Yeah. So I think giving ourselves permission and the practical help that we need can be a way to say, like, it's okay. It's okay to be tired.
And you're not alone.
You know, everyone is tired.
Go through this.
Yes.
We all go through this.
Yes.
And I'm just going to say this and not out of fear, but just if you're chronically tired and it doesn't go away, it's okay to get that checked out, however that is, and to make sure that everything's okay physically too.
Yeah. I think overall we're saying it's okay to take care of you.
Yeah.
And
I
whatever
agree.
that looks like. A doctor's visit, a day without so many things on your calendar, whatever it is, it's okay to say, I'm tired. That means I worked really hard and probably loved really well. Now, what do I need to be able to keep doing that for a lifetime? And that's it for today's episode. Thanks for going deeper, becoming freer, and connecting with us. More Than Small Talk is a part of the KLRC Podcast Network and is produced by Kara Culver. Show notes and resources are available on the More Than Small Talk page on klrc.com. You can also join us in our Facebook group. Subscribe to More Than Small Talk on your favorite app so you won't ever miss an episode.